So I got a couple donut holes. I know, when you're trying to change your body and you want to look good, you want to lose fat, and you just can't get yourself to do the stuff, or it seems extremely overwhelming or frustrating. It's make all these food and then you don't follow through on it. It's extremely discouraging. It's difficult. But the important things, one important thing to remember is that first and foremost, you have to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself forgiveness. If you cannot give yourself grace, then it's you're not only are you're at war, you're at war with your body, you're at war with yourself as a person, as a being, you're at war with other people, you're at war with all these things that are making it difficult. So it that's not a it's it doesn't work if you take that route. And yeah, like I want fast fat loss. Everybody wants fast fat loss, but we also, and there are ways to do that, but we also need to give ourselves that grace and recognize, like, when you start to make changes and you're making, it might seem like a small change, but that's okay. That's important. That one change is important. And we have to continue to come back to that, grace and that forgiveness, and then the recognition that, hey, before in the past, I didn't eat any fruit, okay? And now I'm making different choices. And maybe you're still eating a bunch of other stuff that's super high calorie, and, maybe you had some drinks and the scale's still not moving, but you have added one small thing, and that's huge. And so that's like the reminder for today is, like, recognize these things, and when you do recognize them, then they start to, like, you find it easier to add the next small thing. Um, and yeah, sometimes a person, you've seen it before, a person can shift their entire life all at once, right? And then they make this massive transformation, and they give up alcohol and they start working out, and that's cool too. That's great. Like, that's wonderful. But we don't want to have to wait for that, and we don't want to have to um live each day of our lives just beating the shit out of ourselves, and, like, just feeling discouraged and down. Like, that's not a way to live, right? And recognize that, look, everybody is having some type of experience that they don't like, right? Like, it could be a relationship thing, it could be a financial thing, it could be a family thing, whatever the thing is, it could be a million different things, right? And and there's a lot of stuff that gets, like, layered, on, and, like, you just live, like, you could see it. You walk around and you could see it on people's faces, like, this person is tired. this person is sad. This person is discouraged. Um, and then on top of all that, like their their body is not they're struggling with their body as well, and their habits. So, I'm sure you can recognize that too when you go out and you see it, but then also recognize that in yourself and then start to allow yourself, like, what is really important, right? Like, if you just look around and like, what do people consider important? What do people focus on? And how we all like complicate our lives because we have placed importance on things that we wouldn't have decided. Like, you were born. You did not decide to be born. You did not pick your parents. Um, you did not pick your parents' circumstances or their ability to parent you. Um, and you got programmed. Like, you didn't come up with your own way of thinking. There's few individuals who have that like ability to do that and the awareness. But for the most part, we're a product of those things. And so, like, if you ask yourself, if I could choose what things to focus on and to place importance on, would I choose the things that I have chosen now or that I do think are important now? The answer would probably be no. Um, and so we end up getting ourselves, obviously, I'm talking uh, without giving any details, I'm talking about myself as well. But, you know, you would like you would choose different things. But even then it's like it's very difficult to choose, to know, what do I even want? What do I like? What do I genuinely like that somebody else didn't place on me, right? Um, I'll give you 1 second. This guy is trying to get in. Gotta let him in. All right. So anyways, to get back to the point, like, one small thing at a time is extremely valuable. It's extremely important, and you got to recognize it. You got to give yourself the grace, and things will change. That's kind of what I want to say, is like, think you have to have that that faith and that confidence that things will change, and not ever give up. We don't know, like, you might meet somebody, you might hear something, you might just wake up one morning and just decide that that's it. You don't know what it's going to be, how it's going to come about, but all you need to know is, like, it will change. I know it will, and that's it. And, like, in the meantime, do those do those small things and recognize them. Um, uh, like, a little bit about, like, you know, I struggled with this whole thing, like, specifically with trying to get in shape and looking good. Like, I struggled for almost 8 years before I finally figured it out. And then after that, I went from like 2009 all the way to 2023 in like phenomenal shape. That's like 14, 15 years almost. And then similarly, things happen in our lives that make things more difficult, and you find yourself like like unable to do, like, I had success. I did figure this out. And then I also struggled, which on one hand has been really great, like, because I now understand more like what people go through. Because a lot of coaches out there, like a lot of fitness people, they don't really understand like what people go through. They don't really understand what it feels like, right? Because a lot of them are younger, um, and there's less responsibility and there's more time, etc. That's another thing. Like as time goes on, you feel like you wasted time and you did this and blah blah blah, whatever, regret or whatever. But most you know coaches, especially fitness people, younger, like they can't empathize with that. So, um, anyways, just wanted to remind you that I think it's extremely important because it can be difficult to get that from, you know, the people that are close to you. Um, and, whether it's your partner or your family or your friends, like you can't put it on them like that they don't have the ability to be supportive and like understand like this work is for us, and they're doing the best that they can, um because remember they're also people who also were born. They didn't choose who they were born to or what they grew up around, etc. So like they also went through the same thing, so I'm not going to put that responsibility on other people, right? um so yeah, uh things, small things, that's what we want to do. Maybe it's you start adding fruit every day, maybe you start drinking a juice, a green juice every day. Maybe it's you just start doing a few push-ups every day. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Maybe you start, you know hitting your protein. Whatever it is, it's good and it should be recognized, and you should give yourself grace, and forgiveness, and I, for a fact, 100%, it will change. The whole thing will change. You can, and you will transform completely if you do that. All right. All right. Back to work.